Commanders fans, a win is 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 a win. But man, that was ugly. That was ugly. And honestly, it really wasn't ugly until the end. Like, well, maybe I guess like the third or fourth quarter, whatever. But Dan Quinn, man, they're having a press conference right now with Dan, and he has to answer about that decision to kick a 54-yard field goal with a guy that we literally just signed who was cut by the Giants a few weeks ago. It's not like you. It's not like this is the kicker that we've had all season from game one that has done a good job and has consistently kicked from 50 yards. This is a guy that we literally just signed. What, Wednesday, Thursday? Greg Joseph, who wasn't good with the Giants on Thursday Night Football or Monday Night Football against the Bengals. Greg Joseph missed two kicks, two 40-yard kicks to basically help the Giants lose or make the Giants lose against the Bengals. The Giants would have lost that game anyway, but that's my point is that the Giants had somewhat of a chance to be competitive against the Bengals in that game, and that was the game that got Greg Joseph cut. And you put him back there to kick a 54-yard field goal, you have to make Spencer Rattler beat you from the 1 yard line. You have Tressway, who's an all-pro punter, who probably would have pinned him on the 1 yard line. And Percy Butler would have fielded the punt. Or Ben St. Juste, since he's on special teams now, he would have went down and fielded the punt. Or if Ben St. Juste should be on special teams. Ben St. Juste should not see the field again. It is what it is. Sign another corner or elevate a corner off the practice squad. Or Kayvon Seymour, who just came back from suspension. Don't put Ben St. Juste on the field. Only time he gets on the field, a penalty happens. But Dan Quinn, he has to answer that, man. That was a bad decision. I get he was trying to trust in Greg Joseph to kick the field goal from 54 yards away with no wind. It's in a dome. I get it. You know, maybe that's his thought process. But you cannot, like when the defense was stopping, and Spencer Rattler, I'm not going to say they were stopping Spencer Rattler, but at least they were holding Spencer Rattler to field goals. The only time they scored a touchdown was when the Alvin Kamara catch happened. That was off of a trick play. So they were doing a decent job. They should have caught interception. Frankie Louvu dropped the interception. I feel like Mikey Sanders still dropped the interception. Even though Mikey did get one, he did drop an interception where he should have had. I think it was against Spencer as well. It might have been against Jake. But there was a couple of interceptions that we dropped, and that's what I say in my preview. We gotta catch interceptions, guys. We gotta finish plays ball is life. The roughing the passer penalties on Dante Fowler were terrible. They did stop the clock on the 9 seconds. That 9 seconds, if you rewatch it, they stopped it. It should have been 3 seconds go off. 3 seconds should have went off, or maybe 4 seconds should have went off. So it should have went down to 5. And when it went down to 5, they were still moving. You know, so maybe it would have went down to 3 or 2. So they might have spiked it with one play just to go. But that's still cheating is cheating. Even if they still would have had one more chance to get a playoff, cheating is cheating. The clock judge or whoever, they definitely cheated on that. But we got very fortunate. And this is what I say to people who always say, go for two, go for two, go for two. It doesn't always work out, guys. And it worked out in our favor that they went for 2 and it didn't work out. If they would have went to overtime, I still think we would. If they would have chose to kick the extra point and go to overtime, I still feel like we would have found a way to win. But they would have had momentum. They would have had momentum. And Jaden took a lot of sacks. Jaden missed Terry 3 times. Terry did drop one of them. So one of them was a drop on Terry. I think one was 100% on Terry. But the other 2, Jaden had a huge. Jaden probably you could put like 70% or more on Jaden. Terry still had the blame on some of them. So it was 3. It was 3 throws, 3 pitch and catches where it should have ended in a catch, in my opinion. So the first one, I think Jaden overthrew him, and then there was one where it did hit Terry in the hands. It wasn't a perfect ball, but it hit Terry in the hands, and he's got to catch it. And it's crazy. I feel like they were all on the same sideline. They were both on the right side of the field, which is where Jaden is most comfortable throwing the football, and they just could not get on the same page. Now, they were on the same page on the 2 touchdown passes, and they've been on the same page for the most part this year. That's why Terry is having an all-pro year. That's why Terry's having the rookie of the year type season. But whatever happened in that second half, that fourth quarter, they got to clean this up, man. They got to clean that up. And they're better than that. We know that. They showed it in the first half with the 2 touchdowns. They're better than that. Jaden and Terry have way more chemistry than what they showed. And then there was the pass, the third one, it got tipped up in the air, and it still hit Terry like on the fingertips, where it would have been a tough catch, but it did go up in the air for a little while. That was a tough catch, so I'm not going to blame Terry on that. That one was on Jaden. That was like 95% on Jaden. Excuse me, he underthrew Terry on that one. So they got to clean that up, man. We got the Eagles next week. I'm not going to talk about the Eagles yet because they play right now. They're about to play they're playing the Steelers currently right now. It's 2 minutes into the ball game. But man, Jake Hayner, Spencer Rattler came in and played well. Like if woulda, coulda, shoulda, and ifs, ands, or buts. But if Derek Carr would have started, we probably would have lost the game. We probably would have lost. The way if we played the way we did today and taking sacks, Cliff Kingsbury doing a play action on the 1 yard line instead of running the ball with B-Rob or running the ball with Jaden, that was ridiculous. So it was some of the coaching was not good today. Some of the coaching was not good today. It is what it is. Some of the coaching was not good. Jaden had a good game for the most part, but he did take a lot of sacks. He was running around the pocket. We let Chase Young get 2 sacks today. Chase Young, he played a decent game. Like, I know everybody hates Chase Young so much, and I get it because he was a bust here. But Chase Young, he played a good game. He did what he was supposed to do. He got pressures and he got a sack. He got 2 sacks. One was more of a coverage sack that Jaden ran into, but hey, a sack is a sack is a sack. So I'm gonna go to my notes, man. Like, this is like that was not a playoff. We didn't play like a playoff team today. We just gotta keep it real, man. Keep it real. We didn't play like a playoff team. We will lose to if we play like we did today. We will lose to the Eagles. We will lose to the Falcons, and then with Cooper Rush and the Cowboys, who knows? Who knows? That's a toss-up game. I don't know. That's a toss-up game. We play like we did today. But as far as the Eagles and Falcons, you cannot play like that. You can't play like that and expect to win. There's just no way. There's just no way in the world. So let me go to my notes here. And the injuries too, man. Zach Ertz, concussion. With us, concussions linger for our guys. It's not a 1 week thing. With other teams, it's a 1 week thing. Now, I get it. Concussions are different for every player and how it happened and stuff like that. Like, he bounced his head off the turf instead of like how Jeremy Chin got hit in the head and he just fell and his arms were literally like this stiff for about a couple of seconds, which was pretty concerning. And I hope he's okay. Prayers are for both these guys. De'Ami Brown got injured. I don't remember who went back into the game or not. So the injuries, I'm not gonna say they piled up, but it was rough today. It was rough. Jeremy Chin, I don't know if he went back in the game or not. I can't remember. I'm sorry. And then Zach Ertz, we know he didn't go back into the game. So it's kind of like, do you need to go out and sign a tight end? Ben Sinnott, can you trust him? John Bates did make a nice catch, but can you trust him? Who do we have on the practice? Is Cole Turner's terrible self? Is he still in the, or disappointing self? Is he still in the practice squad? I mean, like, you know, it's another situation where you might have to go to free agency and pick up another guy at the tight end position if Zach Ertz is out. Once again, it is what it is on that. You may just have to pick up a guy. And Zach Ertz, that was a tough catch that he made, too. Like, the one-handed catch, that was probably Zach Ertz's best catch of the whole season. It really was. But yeah, let me get to my notes here real quick, and I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna let you guys go. So we got a sack on Jake Hayner. We did get sacks. We did get pressure, which is what you're supposed to do on a guy like Jake Hayner. We had a lot of penalties today too, man. How many penalties did we have? The Olamide Zaccheaus penalty, that one where the touchdown was taken away. Jaden had to have a Houdini moment for the touchdown to Terry. Like, he dropped the football and picked it up, ran around again, then threw the ball to Terry. And then, like, we were backed up we were on their 5 and then backed up to the 20-yard line. It's just like stuff that's inexcusable, man. That's not playoff team stuff, man. We didn't play like a playoff team. 9 penalties today, off of a bye week. And this is why I said everybody kept commenting on my video. And every time I said this feels like the Cowboys game, going into this game where you're playing up against a backup quarterback. They have a bunch of injuries. Chris Olave out. Taysom Hill out, Rashid Shaheed out, so many guys out, Derek Carr out, and it just felt like another Cowboys game, and it felt like it was Cowboys 2.0, where you lose to Cooper Rush, and a bunch of guys are out, Trayvon Diggs is out, and Dak Prescott out, and just a whole bunch of guys out. You play down to the level, you play down to the competition, and you get punched in the mouth, and you lose. And it almost felt like that 2.0 again. We dominated the time of possession, 40 minutes to 19, and we still only won by 1 point. 137 rushing yards to their 69, and we still only win by 1 point. Third downs, we were 9 for 17. Fourth downs, 1 for 1. Third down defense, 3 for 11. So we did a good job on third downs. But let me go with my notes. Yeah, the Dante Fowler roughing the passer stuff, that was just ridiculous. It really was. That was ridiculous. They just want him to play tennis and not play football. Or two-hand touch flag football. That's an excuse on the right. They need to be reviewed for that. They need to be reviewed for the time for stopping the clock, and then the refs need to be reviewed for the roughing the passer calls. Terry had a nice play, but a penalty took it back. De'Ami Brown had a nice catch, but a penalty took it back by Allegretti holding. Mikey got the interception. Marquez Valdez-Scantling had 2 drops today where it could have resulted in 2 big plays, but he had a big play later on. He had 2 big plays later on in the third or fourth quarter in the second half. Terry's second touchdown. Jeremy Chin got a sack on Jake Hayner. Jaden breaks a tackle on 3rd and 1. I got the first down. The 4th and 1 first down that he got was really nice too. Jaden takes a bad sack on 3rd down. Good drive in the second half, but Cliff makes a dumb play call, and we do a play action on the 1-yard line. We get sacked by Cam Jordan. Alvin Kamara touchdown on the trick play. Jaden Daniels nice pass to Terry McLaurin. Jaden Daniels runs for first down on 3rd and 14. That was a really nice run by Jaden. Chase Young gets a sack on Brandon Coleman. Greg Joseph misses the kick, but the time expires. Greg Joseph got lucky. Like, why would you kick it again when Greg Joseph literally just missed a kick? And you would decide to kick a 54-yarder when he just missed a 41-yard kick and he got lucky because the time expired, and then he finally made it after the time expired and he got a second chance? Like, why would you kick like Dan Quinn, donkey today, man. And I love Dan Quinn, but donkey today for sure. Dante Fowler, Derek Forrest got snaps. Luke McCaffrey was the kick returner, so that was interesting. Jamison Crowder returned punts, so that was interesting as well. That was different. Frankie Louvu drops an interception. Jeremy Chin injured. Terry wide open, and he drops it. Jaden off just a little bit, but you still have to catch the ball. That was my notes. I'm reading my notes right now. 4th and 1, Jaden Daniels gets it. I talked about that. Jaden and Terry can't connect again. Jaden underthrows it. Jaden and John Bates for a first down on 3rd down. First down pass to Alameda Zacchaeus. That was a nice first down pass. Pitch and catch. Nick Allegretti holding call negates De'Ami Brown catch for first down. I feel bad for De'Ami on that one. Dan Quinn kicks the field goal instead of punting. I was pissed. And then Kendrick Miller, like, they were running the they barely threw the ball on that drive because they got it on their 40, 45, 41 or 40-yard line. So they had good field position. It's like Dan Quinn almost gave them a Christmas gift of field position. He really did. He gave them a Christmas gift of field position. And they ran the ball with Kendrick Miller over and over and over again. And it was successful. We finally stopped it, and then they threw the ball and got into the red zone. Excuse me, Spencer Rattler touchdown pass, and they missed the 2-point conversion. We got very fortunate, and they could have called a pass interference on Noah I, but they did not. It would have been ticky-tacky, but they're in New Orleans, so I wouldn't have been surprised if they would have called it, but they didn't, so we got fortunate with that as well. That was 2 plays before the touchdown pass. It wasn't like on the 2-point conversion. There was no penalty on that, or no possible pass interference. Now the Saints were dumb because they did a rollout where they basically only gave themselves one side of the field, which was silly to me. So the play caller, thank goodness they did that. But Joe Witt Jr., he struggled in the second half. Dan Quinn, the decision to kick the field goal instead of punting it, when you got an all-pro punter in Tress Way. Cliff Kingsbury decided to do a play action instead of running the ball with B-Rob, who had a good game. Now, I get it. Tyler Biotic was injured, and they didn't want to run the ball at the middle for whatever reason. They just wanted to run outside because I guess they didn't trust the middle of the offensive line. But you still just got to run the football on the 2-yard line. You got Jaden Daniels, you got B-Rob, you got Chris Rodriguez. You got guys that can finish the drive. Like, you got multiple guys that have punched it into the end zone multiple times this year. Chris Rodriguez has scored too. So that was just ridiculous by Cliff. So we live to fight another day. We're 9-5. Put this behind us. A win is a win is a win. You build on it. You watch film. You evaluate. Tell the truth Monday. Dan Quinn has to look in the mirror and tell the truth to himself on Monday and tonight. And when Jaden and Terry get off that plane, they need to have a sleepover. Pause. No Diddy. They need to have a sleepover. Wake up in the morning. They may have the off day, but when they get to the facility at 5 a.m. in the morning, pitch and catch, pitch and catch, pitch and catch. Over and over and over again until they get it right. Pitch and catch. That's what they need to do until they play Philly on Sunday. And I don't want to hear no Quintanamo Bay, none of that, because they need to cook him and they need to cook Cooper DeJean on Sunday. That's what they need to do. But like I said, we'll celebrate the win. Deron Payne had a bad pass. Johnny Newton had a bad pass. I don't want to forget about that. They made some good plays there. Dorrance finally got a sack. It's about time. And that's it. We take the win, guys. We take the win and we move. We take the win and we move. And but we definitely have to tell the truth tomorrow and today. All right, you guys. As always, left hand up. Health Commanders. Peace.